Hey everybody, what am I doing in my attic is what you probably are thinking. So we have a situation here, and the situation is I'm just using my phone to record this video, so hopefully it'll work out. Okay, and I'll speak up a little bit because the attic can get really hot. So what's going on is we have an ICP air conditioner here. Show it to you. And what happened was there was this weird behavior where when the AC is turned on, the blower motor, it blows air and then it stops and it blows air again randomly. It stops in 2 minutes, sometimes in 30 seconds. Like, I don't know what's going on. But the AC still runs, right? I have a Nest thermostat and it still shows that the AC is turned on, but you're gonna hear the air blowing and then the air randomly stops and it blows again, it stops. So I don't know what was going on. So what I did was I obviously came up here in the attic, opened up my furnace, and I see the green light blinking, right? The signal light. Okay, I'm over here. Now, the way it was blinking was really odd. It would blink 2 times, 3 times. None of the codes that's listed there that is supposed to help you was not really helpful at all, right? So obviously I tried to Google it, do my research, and what I found out was basically there's a relay switch for the blower motor that's gone bad, and you're supposed to just replace the relay switch. Okay, sounds like an easy plan, very easy fix, right? But it wasn't, because the relay switch is been soldered onto the motherboard, okay, on the main board. So I have another main board, and I'll talk about how that was fixed. But here, let me put my phone over here. So this is the main board for this unit, okay? Basically, there is a label here. I just Googled it. The new board costs like $300, but what I did was, in the interest of time, I actually bought a used board that was pulled from a working unit off of eBay for about $60. So you can do that too. Now I have another fix in place that's coming up. But really what this board is, I'm gonna show you where the relay switch is for your fan blower. Now this is very confusing when the schematic diagram for the main board on the ICP furnace itself is not that clear. So let me help you out. So this is the main board. This is the fan blower relay switch, okay? There is another, let me see if I have that schematic diagram here. So, I don't have it here. Let me see. I'll open the inside cover and I'll show where that is again. But this is the relay switch, okay? So, the video is being recorded from my FaceTime or my front-facing camera. So it may be flipped. The video may be flipped, but look at your board. You have 2 relays here at the bottom, right? At the blue screw here. This on the extreme right side facing towards me. This is the relay switch that's bad, okay? And on the back, it's here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? These are the pins for the relay switch. This relay is I believe, I'm gonna check again, but I believe this is normally open, okay? So normally open means the connection is not made. The connection is only made when the CPU sends a signal to this relay switch saying, okay, turn on the fan now, right? And the CPU will only send the signal when maybe Nest feels like there's more moisture and we only need fan, and whatever your thermostat decides it wants, it will relate to the CPU. The CPU will tell the fan to turn on, turn off, depending on what it's doing. Now, while this happened late at night when I went, I didn't have this board, like I didn't know what to do. Late at night, there's no hardware stores that carry this relay. So I did 2 things. Number 1, first things first, I was able to identify that this was the relay. I used a multimeter like this, and I used that to identify the relay, and I can show it to you on how to do that. Basically what I did was I put the multimeter in a continuity mode and I checked the relay, and it was supposed to not be connected, and it wasn't connected, and I did a couple of other tests as well. That's how I kind of found out. Now the other thing I did was I ordered the relay. It was just $3, but it shipped from China. and that's gonna take us that's gonna take me another week for it to come down here, right? So I also ordered the board. The board's here, but I still got my AC running, and I'm gonna explain to you how to get that working in the meantime, so you still have cold air and not have to, you know, sit in the Texas heat that I am in. So I opened the inside unit, and you can see the motherboard there. All right, looks exactly the same like the one that I ordered, so we are good on that part. Okay, now this is the schematic diagram that your unit should have. And again, this can also work for carrier units, and again, you just have to check what unit you have, but typically this is the behavior. Now, as you can see, I have BLWR, blower motor relay, SPST-NO. That means it's normally open relay. When the signal goes in, the relay closes, the blower motor connection is made, and that's how it works. The schematic diagram tells me that there's another blower motor controller here. So there's two relays, right? There's a blower motor speed change relay. That's one black relay, right? If you remember, I showed you that it had two relays here. Where's those relays? It's right there. See? There's these two relays here. One is the blower motor speed change relay, and the other one is a blower motor relay. And the way to verify this is you have the blower motor, then you have the speed change relay, and then you have the blower motor relay. And if you see, one of the relay connections goes straight to the CPU, and the other one gets connected to the blower motor controller. Okay, so you can also trace it from behind the motherboard if you want to be sure, but I'm 100% positive. Now I'm gonna tell you a trick. The trick to get your AC to keep running until your parts show up is to bypass the relay. What I mean by bypassing the relay is you just connect these two pins with some sort of a copper cable. What that basically tells is that to bypass the relay, that means the relay is going to always be connected to the motor, and that means your blower motor, your fan will always run. Okay, again, I'll repeat that. So when the fan always runs, when the AC turns on, the house is going to cool. When the AC turns off, the fan will still be running. Okay, I'm going to show you how I had that connected right now. Okay, before you do anything, disclaimer, make sure you disconnect the power, because it's not on me if you get electrocuted or something, right? Don't be stupid. All right, so I removed the screws already, so it's been hanging in there. So the way I did that is, here you go. You see that? That's where I did the connection. It's not the most perfect job, I know, and you can have a good laugh at it, but what I did was I stripped a copper wire, I connected both the pins there, right? I don't know if you can see it, but I connected the one faraway pin and this pin together, and I just basically used a plastic gun to melt plastic and seal it off. So what that does is got my AC connected. After that, I did a little bit. I thought of another idea. Now, I didn't want my blower to run all day and night, regardless of if the AC is running or not. So what I did was I used a Wi-Fi connector here. It's a 10 amp Wi-Fi connector. So what that means is, whenever I turn off my thermostat, let's say if I'm not home, let's say it's cool enough, I don't need my thermostat to be running. Let's say if we don't want the house to be at 75 or 72 anymore, we want it to be 75. We increase the thermostat, the AC turns off, but the blower's running. I go into my Wi-Fi switch and I turn off the Wi-Fi switch. That means my entire unit is shut down now. My thermostat does not get any power, everything's shut down. If I feel like the house is getting a little hotter, I can then turn on the Wi-Fi switch over there. That means this power's on, the blower starts running, and then my AC unit runs. I can show it to you right now. See, like right now it's turned off. As you can see, I'm gonna turn it on. Okay, now it's on, and you can hear, I don't know if you hear the little hum, the blower's on now, okay? So it's gonna run regardless, right? So I'm just gonna turn it off now because I'm gonna go through the process of replacing it. But I thought this will be a good way for you guys to know what to do if this kind of an issue happens whenever you have an AC unit where the blower is turning on and off. You know now that what you got to do is, it's most probably that relay switch, and you can call like, typically if you call like a AC guy, they're gonna come in and they're gonna just replace the motherboard, because I don't think many of the AC guys will have the skill to actually handle a solder job, right? So they're gonna replace the motherboard, and that's gonna cost you $600, $700, $800, maybe $1,000. This is a $3 fix, right? If you know to solder. If you don't know how to solder, the best thing you can do is turn off the AC unit, check the motherboard number, right? I'll show you where the motherboard number is. It's going to be right at the corner. Just try to just try to Google those numbers. Sir, there's going to be something on eBay. Order one, okay? And then what you do is you see if you can actually bypass that, okay? So I'm going to show you the pins to bypass real quick, okay? And remember, the ones that I'm showing are very specific to this motherboard and this model. However, bypassing a relay is a pretty standard thing. So you just need to know which pins those are, and for that you need to have a multimeter, okay? So these were the pins that I was talking about earlier, right? This is the relay, okay? This is the relay, and these are the pins, okay? And you can see, I mean, if you want, you can trace these pins back to the CPU and whatnot, but I know that this relay over here, the way it works is there's these two pins here and here, and there is a ground pin, okay? This pin and this pin need to be connected, okay? Now this pin and this pin, and how do you know that is by using a multimeter. Now I tried to make the video with the multimeter just to show you how to check that, but it's just me upstairs and I don't really have a camera stand. I'm literally holding the phone, so I'm not really prepared to make the video today. So, but I'm still trying to put something together. But yeah, you can Google it. It's not that hard, right? You just Google it, and the multimeter you can buy something for $9 or $10 on Amazon and whatnot. But if you don't have that, just look on just go on the relay. You're gonna have a faint name on it, okay? There, you can see it on the camera, but go make a note of that name, the model number of the relay. Go online, and there's a relay data sheet that will clearly point out which one is a normally open, which one is a COM or a ground, and things like that, and you can potentially figure it out, right? And again, I highly recommend you have a multimeter, and you can simply do a quick Google to check how to do a continuity test. Super easy to do. But if you don't, I would not recommend you mess with it, right, without knowing what you're doing. However, if you do know what you're doing, then you just then use a copper cable to connect this with this one, okay? You can kind of run across these two because this other one's not connected to anything, right? But I really recommend you just connect this one and this one. It was not easy for me to do. I had to really kind of put this together at the last minute, but do that, and I just used this plastic gun over here, and then I just glued it up, right? Now when I get a new relay, I'm gonna remove this solder and solder in the new relay, and I think that then I have another board that's just lying around as a backup, right? But that's what you do. You connect this to connect this, and what that does, the COM to an NO, and what that does, it basically closes the circuit. When it closes the circuit, the fan's basically getting power non-stop, and the fan's gonna run non-stop. And all right, so I got everything connected. Let's start. Let's turn on the switch and see if it works. It's lit up. I don't see the fan running, so I'm gonna go check the thermostat and see if it turns on. All right, so when I turn on the thermostat, it worked just fine. That means the one that I mentioned, the relay switch was indeed the issue. The board that I ordered, I put that in and it's working just fine. Now, the only difference is if you get something on eBay versus buying like a new board. Again, the eBay board was pulled out from a working unit, so it may or may not last. You don't know, you're just taking your chances. But on my end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this board and I'm going to replace the little relay that I talked about. I have my soldering machine coming up. Once I have that replaced and taken care of, I think I'll have an extra board lying around, so we'll try it out that way. But that's it, guys. I'm going to make another video maybe just to show how to replace the relay. and maybe I'm gonna put this back in and let the original board remain here. But that's it from me. Hopefully this helped. Just know what to do. Make sure you don't just open this up and start putting your fingers in, because it can be really dangerous, right? So all right, take care. Bye.